beautiful view that is, folks. A view that is not tainted by Demogorgon running across the material plane, killing everyone, or the Knights of Vigil scampering off without facing the repercussions of trying to trap Terri Coleman along with Demogorgon. If there's one thing that you should learn from this entire playthrough of Baldur's Gate 2, it's that you should never, ever, ever double-cross Terri Coleman. It doesn't end well for those who do. Welcome back, folks, to Let's Play Baldur's Gate 2, the Enhanced Edition, the Shadows of Amn. And when last we left off, we defeated Demogorgon, the Prince of Demons, sending him back to the Abyss when we destroyed his body on the material plane. We then confronted the Knights of the Vigil, who admitted that they intended to trap us with Demogorgon forever, because we were a Balspawn, and out of all the people that could be trapped, better to trap a Balspawn. This kind of annoyed Terri, who then declared that their lives were forfeit, and we killed them. We didn't get the quest experience for doing that, but was that cathartic for the party. Corgan certainly enjoyed it, and now it is time to loot all of the reward that we get for doing this. We should also drop this on the ground, and at this point we should probably put a fair few of these ones away. And we should also put away a fair few of these coloured orbs as well. Do we need this journal? Nope, we don't need that journal anymore. We don't need to do anything here anymore, because there's literally nothing left for us here, apart from going back to some of the floors and just resting to get some random encounters. There's nothing. We're going to put this here. We might as well keep one of these ones, just in case Edwin needs one, but it's not likely that he will. Not at this point, anyway. There is a helmet, some magical gear here. Let's start identifying this. We have plate mail +1, a quarterstaff +2, a +2 sword there, a medium shield there, another +2 weapon, and plate mail +1. This loot is pretty humdrum and uneventful. You can actually get these people killed by deceiving them and telling them to go and check out the seal, whereupon they will go and examine it, and they will all die to Demogorgon. But I think this was the better way of doing things, at least for Terri. We also have all of this, and we're going to leave Neb's head there. We don't need to get that reward. Mace +2, flail +2, plate mail +1. Okay, we have identified absolutely everything, which means that we are going to be paying a visit to the Adventurer Mart once more. So we did consume a few potions, so we need this here, and we're going to pass this potion back over to you. And there we go. Marvellous. Your inventory has a few things, including that ring that we're going to hold on to. Your inventory has more of these. We're just going to put these in the bag as well. I really don't know what any of these do. And to be honest, it's not really important what they do, because am I ever going to use them? Probably not, and I doubt I can sell them. These go in here. Do we need this anymore? I'm gonna say we don't, so I'm going to sell that. It served us well, but it has finally reached the end of its usefulness. And I think with that, we're pretty much done, so let's actually take that as well. We can sell it, can't we? Yes, we can. We'll rest, just to get all of our spells back, and it's a long walk over to the Adventurer Mart, but it will be worth it. I mean, it's not like we can go here to sell things anymore. I think regardless of how you end that quest, you never get the opportunity to buy and sell things there anymore, because they walk off, I believe, if you forgive them. They go on a pilgrimage of repentance. There's no redemption for them, though. Not in Terri's eyes. So, we shall pop into here again, once everybody has made it. I know Corgan and Terri are super excited to go and sell more things, but we can wait. Alright, let's get the selling gear on. That there, that there. We have this, and we have the Plate of Boulderun. This sets it to 18, plus 1 for 20. And our reputation is at 14. If we ended up forgiving the Hellmites, by the way, we would have gained a point of reputation. Not really something we want right now.
Ribald Bardaman at your service.
And it's a good thing that Ribald doesn't realise that we have stolen a few things from him. Right now, we only want to see the normal wares, because we want to sell a few things. Let us get about selling them. This is probably the last time that we're going to be selling anything, because we're going to be reaching a point of no return, and when we do, we're not going to have any stores in the new place. Do we want Taralash? I think we do want Taralash. We don't want that, though. Club of Detonation, maybe we'll hold on to that. The Sand Thieves Ring, we want to hold on to that. Plate Mail, we don't want that. We don't want any of this. We don't want any of those. Or that. Stormstar. We'll keep all of these weapons. I get the feeling they're going to be useful at some point. But everything else, that can go. We're nearly up to 100,000 gold again. Most of that is going to disappear in spells, I think. We're going to need a couple more spells before we're done. Want to sell these wands? No, let's not sell the wands. But we are over 100,000 now, and we have this non-magical warhammer that we can get rid of, and I'm keeping Vascona just because I can. Now, if we go over the spells here, is there anything that you can learn? You could learn a Feeble Mind. You know what? We'll give you a Feeble Mind. You could also learn this. Sure, why not? There are a lot more spells that we can purchase, though. And was that one we could learn? Nope, that was not one we could learn. Let's just double-check things, just to see if there is anything that we do actually want. I really don't think there is at this point. You're not going to be providing us with anything especially useful. Braces of Defense, the Victor, which just deals damage. Ring of the Princes, Reflection Shield, which is armor class +2, redirects missiles. This just gives us an absurd amount of armor. The Fortress Shield. It's a +4 shield. It's a shield that gives armor class +4. No, we don't need that. We don't need the Fortress Shield. I don't think we need any of this, really. No, we really don't. So what we're going to do is we're now going to check the special stock. 50 gold, that's fine. We'll double check all of this. The Helm of Brilliance is really good. If it provided an armor class bonus, I would get that. That is the Cursed Plate that we're not going to be using. And there is also the, if we scroll down, the Heartseeker, not going to be using that either. Spells, however. There are probably quite a few spells that I want here. Oh, there are a couple of spells. We have Shape Change. With this spell, a wizard is able to assume the form of a powerful creature. Mind Flayer, Iron Golem, Greater Wolfware, Earth Elemental, Fire Elemental, or Giant Troll. The spellcaster becomes the creature she wishes and has almost all of its abilities. Thus, she can change into a Mind Flayer to stun her opponents, and then become an Earth Elemental to crush her foes. These creatures have whatever hit points the wizard had at the time of the shape change. Each alteration in form requires only a second, and no system shock is incurred. It's a powerful ability, but we're not really ever going to be using that. Black Blade of Disaster, on the other hand, that might be nice. This spell enables the caster to create a black blade-shaped planar rift about 3 feet long. It jumps into the caster's hand and is used as a normal sword, remaining there for the duration of the spell. The caster is considered to be proficient to the point of grand mastery in this weapon. And if you are a multi-class fighter wizard, this is an awesome ability. Just being grand mastered with the weapon, you don't need to specialize in Blade of Disaster. And you can take advantage of all of the awesome goodies with your huge amount of attacks. The sword acts as a +5 weapon and deals 2 to 24 damage to its victims. Also, every time it hits the target, The victim must make a save versus death at +4 or be disintegrated. There is also a 10% chance that every hit but the sword drains 4 levels from a target and heals the wielder for 20 hit points. This is a really good spell for a multi-class fighter wizard, but we are not a multi-class fighter wizard. One thing I do potentially want to get, however, is Energy Drain. The casting of this spell opens a channel between the caster's plane and the negative energy plane. The caster of the spell acts as a conduit between the two planes, sucking life from a victim and transferring it to the negative energy plane, draining her of 2 levels of experience. The target of this spell loses levels, hit die, hit points, and abilities permanently. These levels can only be restored by a priest's restoration spell. Are we ever going to use it? Probably not, but you know what? It's really not going to hurt to have it, so let's learn it. And I don't think there's anything else really that Edwin needs there, so we are going to pop over to here, and we are going to have a look at, is it your spells? I think it's your spells.
Good customer. A pearl to you.
Let's see, oh no, you're not actually the person I want, but you do have some really good things that I need to, have a look at. Mainly it's the Sword of Bolderon and the Harmonium Halberd and Dakoth's Zerthblade. I mean, that's good if you're a multi-class fighter wizard again. This is pretty good if your +1 strength is pretty good, but we do have better weapons now. Sword of Bolderon, that's pretty good as well, especially the lore increase, but you're not the person that I want. You're the person that I want.
I don't usually speak to the likes of you, but hello.
Let's take a look at what you're offering, shall we? For there are a lot of spells that Edwin could learn. We could relearn Skull Trap. We could learn Lower Resistance. That is actually a really good spell. And we'll also buy a Sunfire for you. And we will also buy... That's actually it. I was expecting there to be a few more spells that Edwin could learn, but I'm not going to say no to holding on to my wealth and riches, because we will need those wealth and riches later on in Throne of Baal, should I get round to it. There are lots of nice things to buy in that game, things that are exceptionally expensive. Enchanting and upgrading our weapons in the little area that we get in Throne of Baal is expensive all on its own. Right, let us save before we start learning some spells. Energy Drain? Of course. I want to get all of these spells learned, so let's just make sure that happens. That one's good. That one's good. This is going here, by the way. That one's good, and now we are going to save after 3 of them. The experience is also nice. We have that one there, and this one here. Marvellous. Now, while I'm thinking about it, are there any spells in here that I know? Is there any in here that I want to learn? The answer is no. And is there any in here that I want to learn? The answer is no.
What is it now?
That is a lot of experience. It does bring some of our party extremely close to leveling, and while I'm thinking about it, there may actually be something else that I want to buy. Do you have any potions for sale? I'm pretty sure you do, but I just want to check. There are all of your okay, we want to see if you have a... Okay, potions of freedom are not too bad. Elixirs of health, heroism, antidotes... No, nothing. Electrical resistance plus 50%, that's pretty good. And that gives us a boost to our trap finding skills. That's actually not a bad potion. I actually want that potion, would you believe it? That gets to go in there. I need to look at the potions that we have here. Strength, Insight. Okay. That is a potion that I potentially want Edwin to hold on to. Just in case we ever decide to cast the Wish spell that is something that we're going to want, because people who are not wise are not good at casting Wish. Well, they're good at casting Wish. In fact, one could argue that a unwise character is the one most likely to cast Wish, but they really, really shouldn't be, for obvious reasons. Unwise characters say things wrong and tend to suffer the highly negative repercussions of their wishes, because Wish is heavily open to interpretation, and you don't want to mess that up. Wishing, for instance, that a powerful item appears in your hands will, if you're not good at wording it, mean that the item does appear in front of you, but the person who owns it also appears in front of you, and they are not happy. Wishing to endure forever could have you turn into an indestructible statue, or have you imprisoned permanently into the ground. I mean, you don't age when you're imprisoned after all.
If that's what you
Let's
want.
now just pop into the Darnie's hold for one last check at our finances, because it can't hurt to get a tiny bit more gold. It also wouldn't hurt to get into a few more fights, because you two are really close to
Yes, it
leveling. Really, really close. Do we have any quests that we can do? Well, that will certainly get us the experience, actually, now I think about it. So, popping back to inform them that we have the Lanthorn, and also that we defeated Demogorgon, will probably get us that level. I wonder if we can get experience from people by just saying, hey, we defeated Demogorgon, by the way.
Oh,
Ha!
you
Like you defeated Demogorgon. No, we really did. Here's all the proof.
Surface dwellers,
And then
yes.
their eyes widen in realization, and they go, well, we should be thanking you. And we'll say, well, experience will be good for that, thanks.
Yeah, it's nothing to it.
Let's pop over here, check our finances. 1,000 gold. Won't say no. We have 86,000. That's gonna have to do for
Gather
now.
your party before venturing forth.
Do not worry, the party will indeed be gathered, for
must
we
gather your party
are
before
now going
venturing
to, we need to go through here, don't we? Yes, we do. We are going to hand in that quest. We need to pop out
If you
here.
say
We can rest while we're here, actually. I don't know if we can rest in the, encampment, but we can certainly rest here. As soon as Corgan, has the rest of the party nearby. Say goodbye to our fortress, by the way. We're not really going to be seeing it ever again. This really is a point of no return that we are approaching. But I think we're ready. In fact, I think we're very much over-prepared for this, but it's better to be over-prepared than under-prepared. We want to go to the Underdark exit. It's dark, but that's fine. We're going to report on our success, and probably get some questions as to why it took us so long. Then we'll go into the whole we decided to fight Demogorgon and do all that stuff, spiel. I'm sure they'll be impressed. In fact, I'm pretty sure they won't care because their city is still under siege.
Your return. All has been relatively quiet here. I believe the Drow were mostly satisfied with the destruction of our temple. They have made no further serious advancement yet.
That's good. You have the Lanthorn. It is in the hands of the murderous vampire Bodhi no longer. I feel the tide of this crisis is certainly changing. Yes, Bodhi. But you claimed you did not know who stole the Lanthorn. You must have made mention of it. You surely had some idea who it might have been. We questioned you for quite a while, you recall. You've let slip something, Elhan. Let's question you more about it. Possible, but I never said she was a vampire. Why lie about knowing of her? Perhaps not, but you did ask for holy water and stakes. One needs only put two and two together to make the correct assumption. That is quite the reach in logic. Come now, should I go into detail about what Bodhi said? Anything said by her or the exile Irenicus must be treated as suspect. You would do well not to repeat their tales to those who do not need to know them. So Irenicus is now the exile. That's not the name of a stranger. Perhaps I should ask around. No, this is not for you to know. I can't tell you, Terri. It is not my place to do so. The exiles, this Irenicus and Bodhi, are criminals. Their crime was great, their punishment greater. and so he has returned for some sort of revenge. I fail to see the great shame in this. You do not understand, and I am not prepared to make you. If you wish to know more, you'll have to talk to one of those involved. Demon the High Priestess, she will tell you. We will have to breach the city to find her. Fortunately, my sages have instructed me in the use of the lanthorn. We must go, but most of my elves must remain to hold the drow. We must not be struggling on two fronts when we face what is in the city. Follow, Terri. We must let the lanthorn lead us to Sundanesalar. I can only hope that the exile will have left us a city to find. And off we go!
It is here. I can feel it. The lanthorn is almost buzzing. There can be no mistake. Stand back, and I shall make the way clear.
If you're curious as to where we are in one of the forested areas that we explored before. You can walk up to here and there is nothing here if you don't have a lanthorn, but if you do...
Sweet Sundanesalar. I have been away too long. I must determine what Irenicus has done within the city.
Walk with reverence when you step. You are going where precious few outside of the elven community have ever seen. Once we go through that door, there is no turning back. That is the point of no return. We can never leave Sundanesalar and go back to the shop. So make sure you've done everything. Make sure you've done all the quests you want to do. Make sure you have bought everything you want to buy. Make sure you're prepared. For our preparations, I'm going to learn a few more things. I think Aura of Flaming Death is pretty good. How about a Storm of Vengeance? Or an Elemental Summoning. You know what? We're going to go with an Elemental Summoning spell. Why not? As for you, I feel like what we need to start preparing now is not that, is a little bit of set traps. And by a little bit, I mean we need to get a lot of that. And we need some more abilities. And out of all the abilities, I think another spike trap might be a good idea. Marvellous. That improves your set traps to 60. And when we're in a dungeon, that improves to 75, which is nice. And so, when we come back, folks, we are going to leave Chapter 6 behind and move on to Chapter 7. To the final part of the game. And once we get there, oh my, is there going to be a lot of combat. But I think the party is relatively ready for it. I mean, Terri's level 25, 22, 21, 27 for the cleric, and 29 for our thief. I think we've got what it takes. Hopefully. And so, I'll catch you next time, folks, and I'll see you then. Later.